can't find any URL to join to the meetup for today. Is it because of that the time is over or something else?
I'm not sure about this. I can send it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to launch the REPL, and we can make an installation. And then I can show you what's going wrong with this environment variable. Who knows from you how the initialization process of shell and logging users is working on Linux?
I mean how the users are created?
Not how the user are created, but how the user are initialized.
What do you mean by initialization the user?
I mean that our issue is we have initialized, we have put some environment informations in the profile configuration. As at etc profile D, we had put some configuration files, and these files are only sourced if we are having a login user. But on AWS, we do not have a login user, and that's the reason why this environment is not set. So do you know how initialization of Bash environment is going on?
So I don't know it. So I can search for it if you want, but I think Ali also doesn't know.
Ali, do you know how this
I
works?
cannot remember any things.
Okay, so you should know how this is working. Initialization of environment for Bash. And the second thing would be useful is if we have remote desktop. At least for me, I cannot use the tab character or tab key. If I press tab, it's going to switch the window, and it's not going to complete the bash. So maybe we find a solution for these two issues. Who will search for what?
I'm searching the initialization of user for Bash.
Okay.
What
so
was the
maybe
other problem?
remote desktop. So remote desktop does not accept the tab key. So it's always difficult to complete some paths on Bash terminal.
So you mean Vinagre?
Yeah.
Vinagre? Doesn't accept the tab.
Yeah. Is this true for you remote desktop also? Or
I'm not sure. I never tried that.
working for you? Okay.
I can take a look.
Okay. Someone is breathing directly in the micro.
What is the desktop manager that you're using?
We use XFCE, and it's part of Xubuntu. So XFCE, you see it on my screen?
Yes.
Okay, that's the one we are using.
So because from what I read until now, it seems like this is a problem with your what did I say? Desktop software?
Remote desktop viewer?
No, with the XFCE, because it seems to treat tab some. I'm not finished, but it seems to be a problem with XFCE.
Okay. So I finished now. So I can show it to you. So if I open a console terminal, then I can type, let's say, list etc profile. Now I press the tab key, and there's nothing going on.
Yeah. So I found a page that said this has to do with some kind of the tab is by default some kind of super tab. That the tab key is. I don't really understand what they mean, and they don't either. But you can try if this fixes it. There's a query that you can do on the command line. I think it should be in your main system. If you know what a super tab is, then maybe you know what this is. But
I would expect that we have some key things, because on my host system it works, but tab works on the remote desktop viewer in another way.
yeah, exactly. So, but it seems that this has to do with your remote system, your home system.
Okay.
So, yeah, I posted the page into the group chat. You
Okay.
can either try with this query that I posted, or look on the page that has the workflow of what to do. You should go to XFCE 4 settings manager, window manager, and then keyboard.
Okay.
So it's the last line before the code.
Okay, so I will try this on my system. No, it's not working. Keyboard manager. Look at.
So
Do you know which super tab key is I should remove?
no, because like the description says that the tab is on its own already the super tab key, but what I just realized that I'm from the description alone not sure actually which window manager is meant, like the one in your machine or in the home machine. So maybe you can try to do it in the virtual machine.
Yeah, so the only thing with tab I found here. Okay, maybe it's removed already. Let's try it here. Yeah, okay. I have to copy paste at all. Okay. Okay. Yeah, cool. This works.
So apparently it was a virtual machine.
Yeah. Cool. So we should add this important line. Okay. So Ali, how are you? How is your research in progress?
I mean, in the bash file of the profile.
Where is it? The bash file of the profile?
Yeah,
So
I found.
I can show you the profile D directory contains, for example, a line shell, and I think also the bash completion and things like this. So these are not executed.
Okay.
Because we have no login user.
Yeah.
So that's
executable. I mean, is it needed to, for example, apply chmod plus X to the files?
no, but I can source them. So if I do, for example, etc profile D source. No, not source line. That would be executed, and if I want to execute line now, it would be in the past. Now it's found. So we have just to source all the files found in here.
Okay.
The question is, how can we do this for each terminal? Let me say. Without having a login user.
And should it be done just by running one command line, or is it needed to, for example, write a bash file?
So I think we can do both. But the question is, we have a remote desktop connection, and so if I first connect to the remote desktop session, these profile D files are not sourced. And that's something that's missing. And wherever we should add the hook to source these files, that's not. So how to source these files, that's quite easy, I think. But we should know where it's a good idea to push to hook this function. So maybe we should search all for this topic, And the first who has a result will come up.
Okay.
Okay. So does someone have an idea?
Not yet.
Okay, so I found, I think, on Stack Exchange an answer. So the problem is that we do not have a login session, and so there's no one who is sourcing the profile information. But if we so this answer says if we start an VNC server, and that's something we are doing, we can place whatever we want in this VNC startup file. So that's something we can try, I think. So we can add this xconf query, and we can add something to the xVNC file and to the x startup file, and maybe these two problems we have are then solved. Okay. So the VNC server is located in managed VM. Let me remember. I've executed this. As user, okay. Okay, somewhere we should execute this line, and I think we had created already this so what's this file? So that's the X startup file, and that's the place we can execute some additional commands. So how the profile D is called. Do someone know how we can call profile D? The whole thing? Because I think a profile D directory itself is only one part of it, because we have something in etc profile conf, I think it's called. etc profile.
I think it can be profile can be called as hub.
As shell, huh?
Yeah.
So this would be executable, do you think?
What do you mean? If it's executable?
Yeah. No, it's not executable. So we should call etc profile. Something like this. Yeah. This would work. Okay.
Yes.
So we can add this line here. Can call bash etc profile. We can hope that lining in shell is source in profile.d. Okay. So I think we can add this line also. Let's see, we should have started X in front of. Okay. So let's test. Okay. Okay. Startup is written. Okay, remote desktop is started. So let's look whether we were successful. First of all, let's look for the tab key. No, tab key is not working. And line. Line command not found. Okay. Okay. Who has any idea how we can solve this? So maybe it's not, I'm not sure for which user X startup is running.
Isn't there any configuration to change, for example, the definition of tab? Because maybe now tab key, for example, maps to another operation.
Yeah. So this line is regarding the tab. So if I execute these two lines in my user context, then both will work. But this is not executed while doing the X startup. So I think we should find out which user is running this X startup. So I try to, let's see. So this VNC is running by the IDE user. And it's on port 5901. If I execute this, then tab is working. So now I can search, for example, cat/etc. Now tab is working. But if I execute it in this X startup, then it's not working. Same is true to the bash etc profile. Now line is found. No, line is not found. Okay. So we have two questions. First question is how can we source etc profile? And the second question is how can we solve this tab issue? So I think that's not the right place.
So where did you? Can you show us again the code where you added this lines?
So I added here. It's in a DDA managed VM. And it's at the location where we installed this type VNC server. And I think this X start up will be called somewhere in the X startup process. So maybe that's too early to call this in here. Because start XFCE is just going to be started here, and we have to wait before we can call this xconf query thing. Would it be an idea to search for auto start. Okay. I'll try to restart, and maybe we have to redo the profile thing, so we do not need to kill the server and to recreate it from scratch. Maybe restart is enough for the test. So key changed. I mean, C is not started anymore. Damn. Did I have the wrong IP? Yes, I have the wrong one. Okay. Okay. Does someone have an idea? Luca, Ali, are you there?
I'm not really sure if I understand what the problem is.
Okay, so I try to create a theory. So I think we have two issues there. So the first issue is that this xconf, I think, will just work as soon as xfce is started. So this xconf query would just work if x is running, up and running. And as we are having just started x here, I think here this x server is not running at all. So we have to issue this the command in a later point in time. And I think here the issue is that we are not integrating the profile in the right way.
What do you mean with integrating?
So yeah, we are calling bash to execute the etc profile, but maybe that's not the right way. So and level of lining shell, we had executed source and not executed bash. So I think profile is not executable, maybe.
Well, it should be
Maybe it's not a shell
executable with shell.
Profile on my local system is not executable.
Well, according to
Maybe
this webpage that I posted in the group chat, it is if you can execute it with shell.
etc profile. Okay. Yeah, but this article says only if we launch a shell or launch a bash and the login option is set, then the profile D is executed or sourced or is getting activated. But it does not say that we have to activate profile as and call it like a shell script. Okay, so I think we should handle these two topics as separated. And let's first find out how we can source, and then let's think about how we can do this xconf query and when we can do this. And I know no faster way how to try it out, unfortunately. And I think there's also no good idea how to find it on Google. Huh?
Yeah, because they are a special problem. Maybe it takes you a lot of time, and maybe someone else, for example, doesn't point it out in a Stack Overflow. Sometimes resolving problem and understanding the solution wouldn't be easy.
Okay. So we have security exception. Yeah. So we should use source instead of bash.
And using source doesn't change anything else.
What do you mean? What should it change?
And just it should, I think, replace bash with insecure with secure environment. Uh, and maybe, for example, there would be some bad side effect for using secure.
What's the security issue in there?
For example, I think all the resources should access to this security. Am I true? Whenever you are, for example, trying a new resource that is not secure, maybe it cannot, for example, use this kind of command line.
No, I did not get this. So what's the security issue with using source? So sourcing is something like including the code is or the text is written in the etc profile, and we execute it in here, right?
My question is that is there any, for example, any bad side effect for using secure command line here?
I do not know secure command line. What's this?
Something that you wrote, secure etc profile.
It's source, not secure.
Oh, because in my screen it's not clear. Sorry.
Okay. So bash is not working, but we can try this source out manually by hand. Created a new remote viewer. Connect. Okay. So if I type source, etc I should be root. So line is already working. And this means that we have something which requires root in this profile D. Right? Or does someone understand this message?
So the code worked but didn't work because like line is working now, but there was still a problem.
I think that's true. So let's see what's located in etc profile D. Source apps is working. Source bash completion is working. Source Sevilla Portuguese. Okay. Whatever that's found, it's form. So that's working also. And source set 9, 7, working. Cloud local test. Working also. Source profile. Oh, source profile. Also working. I'm not sure what this is meaning. But I think now we have a chance. Lining at least is working. From beginning. So I think we can solve this tab related thing also later on. And we can just write a shell script file to the home directory to this user, which is executing this command. So we can execute it manually and don't lose too much time right now. What do you think?
I think that is a plausible option because if the problem really is that this XFCE is not started long enough, there's no other way to do this without like building in waiting time.
Yeah. Okay. So we call this VNC tab workaround. So we will copy the script. The name VNC tab around shell. And then we will have a remote file on the calculated path. And it belongs to OS user, it belongs to OS user group, and it should be executable. So I think it's 8. Is this right? And we will have just this single line. Okay, and something. Okay, should close this let bracket. Okay. Install system. And we are on level user. So we will have install user. And we will call a second function in here.
Does mode 8 refer to the writing and executing rights of this file?
So that's something I'm not sure about.
Because I don't think that 8 exists. Or I've never heard it, at least. Because if you what permission do you want to give? Like if user execute, or
Yeah.
if it's execute, then it should be 0, 1. If the user is
0, 1. I'm not sure. So we have file mode calculator. Maybe that's a better one.
Permissions minus calculator.org.
Calculator. Like this?
Yeah.
Okay, user should be able to execute it. Okay. 1. And read and write should also be possible. So it's 7. Okay. Okay, you're right. 8 is not really binary anymore. Okay. Okay, so we can have a look at the newly created instance. And I would expect that line now is executable. Yeah, cool. So at least one thing works, and I think the second we get to work also. Okay. So I can rerun the test. And then we can publish the solution we found. Okay. So next thing we should try is we should try whether this DDA managed IDE. So that's what we tried already all the time. So we should try test whether this MISA managed IDE is working with our changes we did here in here. So you did commit your changes already?
No, I didn't commit it yet
Luca?
because I was waiting for the confirmation. That
Okay.
So if you commit, as I will commit the changes.
Okay. On which branch you are working?
Currently, I'm only HTTPS, so I'm not working on any branch really. So, but I think if I commit, I should commit to another branch.
We can work on master. Would be possible. Because we have to bring it to work today, I think. So we will not need another branch.
So it seems I don't have push rights on Gitbit.
You don't have it? Yeah.
I don't have it.
Okay. So let's solve one after another. . 。  . 。 . 。 . So did you ever try to test it locally? Your change?
In which? You mean if I set up the Meiser manage time on my local machine?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, I did not test that. But I tested the DDI managed IDE, so the only thing that could go wrong is the if I did the refactoring wrong. So I can test that locally if you want before we push that.
Yeah. So it would be a good idea, I think. Okay. So next IDE is up and running, I think. Now we can see the VNC tab workaround shell script. Execute it. Now we should be able to tap atom. Yeah, we are. Fine. Next thing, we should start atom. And find lining and working in here. Oh. I missed the proto-REPL. So what I'm doing wrong. Okay.
Oh, I cannot start the Meiser managed IDE of RM because it wants to transfer some artifacts from the Archiva. I'm not sure.
And what's missing?
Service unavailable.
Line deploy. I will deploy the DDA managed VM for first. And I think next one would be DDA managed IDE. Maybe there's missing DDA, no, Meiser managed VM. Which one is missing for you, Luca?
So there wasn't. I think there wasn't anything missing. There was just the service unavailable. So maybe if that means it's missing. I mean, it's failed to transfer file Could not transfer artifact. Failed to transfer file. Meister managed for M. 0.4.0 snapshot.
Okay. Okay. So it seems server's down. Okay.
So if the server is down, what are we going to do?
Server's down. So there was a security update, I think, and restart of the service has not worked. So I'm just going to start server again. Okay. So on level of DDA managed VM, yeah, we finished, I think. So at least for me, it's missing. There's missing the proto REPL. So it's not there.
But
Do you know?
in theory, we tested it and it worked. So
Yeah. So we have to find the issue, huh?
well, you are now in the managed VM.
I am now have launched DDA managed IDE.
Can you take a look at Atom closure VM?
Where should I go?
At the Atom closure VM. Yep.
Atom closure, okay. So here we have the atom. And so
Oh yeah, no,
configuration should
the configuration should be in, where was it? Managed IDE?
So what's missing? Do you have an idea?
Want to try to look where we wrote the names of the plugins, because somewhere we wrote some names, like where yesterday, not yesterday, but Friday, we wrote the two names of the two plugins that we wanted to have. I don't remember what it
So I
was.
will try it out. We will switch to the config namespace and maybe we can try this out. So we will see what's the resulting configuration is. So box, we have Atom, and Atom has some plugins, ProtoRepl Inc. And in case of AWS, we have I will clear the REPL. So we have Atom, and Atom has settings and has plugins, and this plugins having ProtoRepl and Inc. So on level of configuration, it seems all to be all right. So for project configuration, we have an IDE user, we have closure configuration, and we have an Atom configuration. So this looks good. So Atom config seems to be the right one. And Atom config contains plugins, right?
So we set the plugins in the convention.
Mm.
I'm not sure why Atom config.
I can hardcode plugins, so we can fit plugins should have the values. This one. Maybe we can try and... No, we cannot try. We can disable this when. So this code will be executed. But I'm not sure why it's not working.
So I will try it again on my local machine until I can get the snapshots. So I'm just trying to reinstall the DDA.
Yeah,
IDE
so
from my
Archiva
local
is
machine.
now working again.
Okay.
So it should work. Okay. Set it up. So I think this would be a good point to do a plan test. So there seems to be a correct configuration, but maybe we have on plan no execution of the lines here. So maybe there's something wrong in here. So at least we should see this in the log file, I think.
Sorry, Michael, what does it
So
do
maybe
exactly?
What?
What does the program do exactly right now? Does it run the whole software?
We are going to install an IDE, and So on Friday, we managed to install plugins for Atom. And right now it's not working. So I missed on the Atom the plugins we installed. So we are searching at the moment why it's not installing plugins for Atom.
Yeah, just now I'm seeing in the console that something is running.
Yeah,
Does it just
so this is
install?
just a log file, the more verbose log file compared to the console down here in Eclipse.
Yeah.
So I wanted to see the execution of this checked script here.
Yes.
That's the reason why I'm watching the log file. Okay, Proto wrapper is going to be installed. And ink is going to be installed. Okay. So one of these two lines are the reason why we have now installed plugins on the last one.
So I'm currently trying to do it on my local version, and I mean, if that works, then we know that the problem is somewhere else. Or maybe but I mean, it worked on Friday, so that's confusing.
Yeah, but this version was working. So last thing I was committing on Friday was this contains thing and this plugins. So maybe there's something not working, but I cannot imagine what could be wrong. So atom config we have used already for the settings. So if atom config is not working, then we will have not this installed IWS workaround. And plugins are looking quite good. So I do not know what could be wrong. So I can copy the whole atom thing so we can view it in detail. So it contains settings and contains plugins. So there are two closing brackets. Why? Okay, because It's closing. EDA managed IDE, okay. So I think I will insert a log message. So we will have at least some information from the run.
Michael,
Yeah.
can you check on the VM if the plugin ink is installed? Because I just tested this locally and ProtoRapper is not installed, but the ink plugin is installed.
Okay. So maybe it's the order is important. What do you think?
I'm not sure because if I just type in APM ProtoRapper ink, then it worked. It didn't throw any errors.
Okay. And ProtoRepl did not work.
I mean, I just after I installed it, I just let APM list all the packages, and there's only one community package, and that's Inc.
Okay.
So it just seems like it's not installed.
But I saw already ProtoRepl getting installed. So we can swap. Important in which order it is. I'm not sure.
Actually, I don't think it's the order because when we tried with only the ProtoRepl, it also worked until we tried to start the ProtoRepl. But
So maybe the ProtoRepl deployment site is done. That would be possible. Okay. So let's have a view on the log file again.
so I don't think that the deployment side is down because I tried to install ProtoRepl and it worked.
Okay. So ProtoRepl was not viewable on APM, but it worked.
No, after I just installed it by hand.
Okay. So we have to have a close view on the command execution result. Okay.
Also, does not seem that the order is important because I just deinstalled Inc and ProtoRepl and installed ProtoRepl, and there's no problem.
Okay. I think I found an issue, but I have to view it first. So I think we're installing proto-REPL as root user. And if I'm right, you will see proto-REPL installed for root, but not installed for IDE user.
A quick question. Archiva seems to be back online, but I'm unauthorized. So can I do this via command line or something so that I can authorize myself with the snapshots? I mean,
You have to do it by UI, and you can reset your credentials if you forgot it, or if you did too often a wrong entry.
no, I mean I want to do the snapshots via get the snapshots via my proto-REPL, but I cannot because it's unauthorized, and I have no opportunity to put in my login credentials anywhere there. So I guess I can do this get the snapshots via Leiningen also.
Yeah, you can go to your project directory and you can say line deps collects all dependencies, at least the not already available dependencies. Okay, so Atom for IDE user, there's no proto-REPL, but so Atom. Okay. So I found the issue. So the issue is that we are installing Atom on system level. So we install also Atom plugins on system level, but plugins are installed on user level. So we install these plugins for user root, but not for user IDE user. So we should move the part where plugins are installed out from the system to the user context. We should do something like this. And have a separate function, plugins. And we have to write this separate function. Okay. So should we give it a final try?
Sure. Sure. So Michael, when I try to make line depths, I cannot log in any way, so I have no way to authorize myself.
I can show it to you. So just let me start the new installation one. Okay, so we are trying to access Archiva. And So my system now is quite slow, I think. Yeah. Try to reload it. So I will do a logout. If you're going to log in, you can say, okay,
I'm not talking
please
about the
reset my
webpage.
password. Yeah,
But I'm not talking about the webpage.
but this password is the same as on your local system.
The point is that I will switch to German. Ich kann auch im Terminal kein Passwort eingeben. Er fragt mich nach keinem Passwort, sondern sagt gleich, bin ich autorisiert.
Yeah. This password is located on. So I do not want to show it to you. But it's located in the file. Yeah, in a file in your home directory in .line, and there's a file called profiles, and that's the place where password is located in.
Okay, sorry. And the profile file is not checked out, right? Or is
No.
it? Okay.
It's generated. So we are going to generate a .profile or profile file depending on your given credentials or given configurations. So dda-pallet is going to generate this file for you. Okay.
And I should find this line or folder in Meister Managed IDE, or
You should find in your home directory.
okay, so it's a general configuration.
Yeah.
So, and where should I put the password in there?
Okay. So I will switch the screen share off so I can tell it to you. But let's first have a view on the installation of plugins. This thing we are searching right now for longer than 5 minutes. Okay. I hope this was the last one. Okay. Ink is going right now to be installed. So here we are.
Sorry, Michelle.
What do you mean?
I should leave the meeting.
Okay,
Okay, sorry. Bye.
no problem.
Bye, Luca.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. I want to see this atom working. Work, work, work. Yeah, Proto Rebel. Here it is. Start a Rebel. Yeah. Cool thing. Okay. So let's switch off screen sharing. And I can tell you about profile. Okay. Okay. So profile should contain something like this one. I can send it to you by chat. And that's one level below the outer brackets.
So I have user and then plugins. So 2 levels.
So you can try it out. Maybe this works for you. And while you're
My
trying, I
profile
will.
looks like this.
Okay. So you have to change password and enter the changed password in here, I think.
So should I replace all what I have with this, or where should I put it? I posted my profile in the group chat.
Please, again, I did not get it.
I posted my profile in the group chat. What I mean, what at the moment is in this file. And the question is where I should put this this keyword of authentication.
One level also. So tell me what the top level elements are.
I mean, I have
in the
keyword
profile.
user, and then then I mean just keyword user and then plugins. Next keyword plugins.
Okay. So I will have. I think it should be on the same level as user is. 1, 2, 3 open. 1, 2, 3 closed. Yeah, it should be zipping off user.
Should be sitting what?
Nebendran soll es sein.